I'm a freshman at a small university. Everyone in my dorm follows a strange set of rules. Part 1. What do you think of when you picture an average college experience? Probably tons of alcohol, wild parties, and the occasional trashy hookup, right? I've had my fair share of all that, sure. But my college experience has been anything but average. And it's all thanks to a strange list of rules that my dorm administered. Thanks for helping me get my stuff moved in. You really didn't have to do that. What's your name again, by the way? Sorry, my short-term memory is kinda shit. Anytime, man. I figured if we're gonna be living together for the rest of the year, it couldn't hurt to help you out a bit. The name's Josh. Nice to meet you. Again, he said, extending his hand. Definitely. I'm Clayton, in case you forgot, I replied, accepting his handshake. Well, Clayton, how's it feel to officially be a college freshman? Pretty cool, huh? I mean, I guess. I'd feel a lot cooler right now if I'd started in the fall like everybody else. Kinda. Hey, new kid on the block. Welcome. A boy who appeared to be about my age had seemingly materialized out of thin air, nonchalantly leaning against our open door. He sported an old-school Justin Bieber cut, you know, the one I'm referring to, along with a black, long-sleeve Nirvana shirt and ripped jeans. Something felt off about him, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Thanks. It's nice to meet you. What's Josh? Have you gone over the list with him yet? I glanced over to my new roommate, slightly perturbed at our visitor's repeated interruptions. Nice to see you too, Bryson. I'll do it later. The guy just got the last of his things moved. At least give him a chance to settle in. Bryson shot him a death glare. His entire aura exuded a malevolence that I'd never felt the likes of in my entire life. The sheer depravity of it sent a chill undulating down my spine. Or now. Now is good, Josh conceded, standing from his bed and ushering me into the hallway. Hey, what gives? I hissed into Josh's ear as I hesitantly followed behind the pair. You'll find out. Gee, thanks, Captain Obvious. Bryson led us to a bulletin board in the common area. He dramatically pointed to it, his deep frown somehow even more pronounced than before. Josh, you know what to do. If I find out that you didn't explain everything to him, I know. You'll give me cement shoes and toss me in the river. Save your empty threats for the next guy, Josh retorted, pursing his lips. Bryson narrowed his beady eyes on Josh, his hands balled into fists. He gave him the once-over before ultimately deciding that it wasn't worth the trouble. Okay, I'll leave you to it then, Bryson huffed, stomping away. Believe it or not, he's actually in a pretty good mood today, Josh said once Bryson was out of earshot. Really? I'd hate to get on his bad side then. What was that all about anyway? Josh sighed. Bryson is our RA resident advisor, if you're not familiar with the lingo. He's in charge of going over the dorm rules with you, but I told him I'd do it instead. He'll get in huge trouble if you're not familiar with them, which is why he just graced us with his presence. Got it. Explain away, I guess. They're pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. They really only do this for the knuckleheads who can barely read. You can read, right? Yes. Yes, I can read. Great. So take a look over the rules and ask me if there's anything you get confused about. I'd recommend taking a picture of them if you've got your phone on you. Bryson might be an ass, but he's right about one thing. You need to read over these very carefully. They might seem strange, but it is extremely important that you follow the rules to a T. I could feel an ominous tension sweep through the atmosphere. Josh's sudden tone of severity was a stark contrast to his outgoing personality, and that frightened me. Got it. I'll read over them right now. Good. I'll be chilling in our room. Let me know if there's anything I can clear up. I flashed him a thumbs up as he shuffled back down the hall. Then I pulled my phone out and snapped a picture of the yellowing, crumpled list tacked to the bulletin board. Josh wasn't kidding. Some of those rules were downright weird. Rules for Eden Hall. Smoking of any kind is strictly prohibited. If the hallway lights start to flicker and the walls ooze a dark green liquid, return to your room immediately and call the front desk. Do not come out until you receive the all clear. Alcohol and drug paraphernalia are not allowed under any circumstances. If you receive a knock at your door from someone claiming to be the dorm electrician, politely inform him that the light in the communal restroom is broken. Do not open the door for him. We do not have a dorm electrician. If a letter from Dahlia shows up in your personal mini fridge, tear it into small pieces and flush it down the toilet. Ensure that you do not read its contents. If you come across human body parts for sale in the vending machines, do not panic. Inform the front desk, and they will be properly disposed of. No, they are not real human body parts. All guests must sign out before p.m. Do not speak directly to the little girl in the lobby. Nothing good will come of it. If a man wearing an outdated bowler hat enters the laundry room while you are using it, do exactly as he says. Failure to do so will result in severe consequences. If you hear a loud screech from directly outside your window, lie flat on your stomach and cover yourself with your blankets. Do not remove them until you hear your door shut. No peeking. Most importantly, have fun. Here at Sutherland University, we take pride in providing a stress-free college experience with memories that will last a lifetime. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact your resident advisor. Stay safe. What had I gotten myself into? This had to be some sort of prank. I was pretty gullible, but even I wasn't that easy to fool. Honestly, what could I do, though? Slime oozing from the walls, body parts in the vending machines, no drugs or alcohol. It's not like I was ever going to find myself in a situation where any of those actually applied. Right? I slunk back into my dorm room and collapsed on my bed. Josh glanced up from his phone for long enough to acknowledge my presence before returning to whatever media consumed his attention. Done reading the rules. Anything need clarification? He asked, his eyes still glued to the screen. Yeah. What kind of stupid prank are you trying to pull? There's no way I'm believing any of that is real. Not for a second. You and Bryson can take your dumb joke and shove it where the sun doesn't shine, I seethed, crossing my arms and turning toward the wall. Geez, man, chill. I know the rules are pretty outrageous, and you probably won't even need most of them, but we didn't make them up. Still don't believe me? Here, read this. It's from last semester. The school tried to have it buried online, but I saved it before they could, he said, tossing his phone to me. I tentatively picked it up and began reading the news article that Josh had pulled up. What I read made my blood run cold. The body of a 20-year-old college student was found in a dormitory bathroom early Tuesday morning. The victim, who is yet to be identified, was a resident of Eaton Hall at Sutherland University. A call came into the local police station at 4:53 a.m. reporting a student's body lying motionless in the shower. According to the report, the deceased was covered in a green slime-like substance. No other details have been made public at this time. If you have any information that could lead to an arrest, police urge you to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-888-CASH. My jaw fell to the floor. I couldn't believe my eyes, but the evidence was right in front of me. The rules were real, and there were grievous consequences for breaking them. Sorry, I said, handing Josh his phone back. I used to get picked on a lot in high school, and I'd fall for stuff like that all the time. It's just such an insane thing to have to deal with. I didn't know. Hey, no worries. It's water under the bridge. I didn't believe it at first either. Once you have your first run-in, it'll wash away all doubts you still have, though. Josh shuddered, a chill rippling through his body. Just pray that your first encounter isn't with the janitor, like mine was. I opened my mouth to speak, but the words caught in my throat. Assuming all of this wasn't just some massive ruse, I was in for a long semester. I didn't run into any problems until my second week. I was finally finding a decent balance between partying and getting my homework done when it happened. Hey, don't judge me. I was a sheltered kid my whole life. Of course, I was going to go buck wild the second I tasted an ounce of freedom. Anyway, Josh and I were on our way back from a house party that had been shut down by the cops, and we weren't exactly sober. By that time, we'd warmed up to each other and formed quite a bond. That bond was broken too soon. But I digress. Nah, dude. You were definitely shooting your shot the cute blonde chick at the pong table. Don't lie, man. I saw you. Okay, fine. I was. Too bad she has a boyfriend. We were really hitting it off, I admitted, holding the door for my drunken companion. He clumsily stumbled his way through as I followed suit. He looked real mad, too, when he saw you going after his girl. Shulda kicked his ass. I might have if he wasn't a foot taller than me. I mean, suddenly, it felt as if a bucket of freezing cold ice water had been dumped onto my back. I could sense a presence. Something sinister that lurked just out of eyesight. I'd been feeling the liquor, but that sobered me up instantaneously. Hello. Earth to clay. You just blue screened on me, dude. You good? Yeah, I think so. Josh, do you feel that? I dunno, like the anticipation? I feel like something's about to happen, but I don't know what. It's starting to freak me out. Nah, you sound like a psychic. I can't feel a thing, he said. I could tell. Josh's cheeks burned a bright red when he drank, a telltale sign that he would be zero help if shit hit the fan. The second the front desk became visible, I knew what was causing the tense feeling. My heart began to pound like a jackhammer in my chest, and sweat began to pool above my brow, because I saw a pair of pitch-black eyes peeking at me from behind the counter. They quickly ducked back out of view almost as rapidly as they'd appeared. Tell me you saw that. I can't be the only one, I said as we grew closer and closer to the front desk. Saw what? I think you're losing it, bro. Nothing. You go on up to the room, okay? I'll meet you up there. I'm gonna grab a snack from the vending machine. Got it. I watched Josh step away, clumsily stumbling down. Then, he was out of sight, cautiously as I rolled into the floor. There was someone working that night. And two, the little girl was sitting in the chair beside her. Maybe it was the alcohol, or maybe I was just feeling chivalrous. But that wasn't the first stupid decision I'd made that night. I should have just walked away. Hey, how's it going? I said, flashing a grin to the pretty brunette sitting before me. I immediately regretted it. The little girl stared at me intensely. Her soulless eyes sent a chill rippling down my spine. She was even more terrifying up close. She looked like Wednesday Addams if she died and went to hell. Her face was deathly pale, framed by perfectly kept black braids. Her dress looked far outdated, and I could have sworn that I saw little flecks of blood spattered on her shoes. But her smile is what frightened me the most. Her lips were curled into a wicked grin, her decaying yellow-brown teeth on full display for all to see. She'd obviously never heard of a toothbrush. "Oh, it's going all right," the RA said, snapping me from my trance. She didn't even bother to look up. "So, I was just wondering. What's the deal with you-know-who?" I whispered. "Oh, Clarissa? She's all bark and no bite. As long as you don't speak to her. That, and I think it goes without saying, but don't touch her either. She really doesn't like that. And you don't care that she kind of just hangs out here all night?" I asked, glancing back at the motionless child. All the while, Clarissa had that same sinister grin plastered across her face. "I don't really mind. She's a pretty good deterrent for guys who try to hit on me," the girl snarled, finally meeting my gaze. "Whoa, whoa, whoa. I wasn't trying anything. It's just that my curiosity got the better of me, Kara," I retorted, squinting to catch a glimpse at her namatag. "Well, curiosity killed the cat. Take that to heart," she advised, returning to her phone. "Yeah, thanks," I said, turning to leave. But before I could, a low, demented whisper caught my attention. It was quiet, barely audible even in the silent lobby, but I definitely heard what she said. "Do you want to hear a secret?" I locked eyes with the little girl, who somehow seemed to be smiling even wider than before. Her predatory glare sent adrenaline surging through my veins. Kara sighed, then looked up from her phone. "You can't speak directly to her, but you can nod your head yes or no, if you'd like. I'd advise against it, though. Whatever she has to say, it'll probably freak you out." A mental war raged on in my head. Was it really a good idea to communicate with that thing? Of course not. What was it that the rules said? Nothing good can come from speaking to her? I knew that I shouldn't. But again, my curiosity won out. I reluctantly nodded my head in acceptance. The little girl motioned for me to lean down to her level. I hesitantly did so. Clarissa cupped her hands around her mouth, her icy breath funneling into my ear canal. What she told me still gives me chills. I'm the one who puts the bodies in the vending machines. And on that note, I'll be going to my room. Good night, Kara. She grumbled incoherently to herself, staring holes into her phone screen. Needless to say, I did not get much sleep that night.